Hello, fellow former fetuses. This video is for you. Hey guys, study after study shows that if you want strong bones and muscles, healthy hair, skin, teeth, and nails, you need the 5 types of collagen in your diet. I get mine from BioTrust. I've got a link in the description with a massive discount, and it'll tell you all about it. Hey, shout out to all my fellow former fetuses out there. I haven't done a video like this in quite a while, but I felt it necessary to show you this video. You've probably already seen it. I want to talk about some things from maybe a little bit different perspective or add some things to it, but let me ask you a question before I roll this film. Is life important? Is human life important? At what point in a human's journey is your life not important? There are some people out there that say, yeah, when you reach 85, 90 years old, hey, we need to put you in a home and maybe euthanize you. There's some people who say, well, you're really not that important as a little kid. You know, you're kind of a disposable human being. And then there are other people who say, well, you know what? All you were when you were in your mama's womb is a clump of cells. You were just a fetus. Well, speaking as a former fetus, I think it's important to highlight the importance of life and the fact that there are people out there, fellow human beings, fellow former fetuses like this woman, this young woman that you're about to hear, who champion the cause of, hey, yeah, there are people out there who, you know, got involved in a relationship and they had a little, you know, call it whatever you want to, the clump of cells. You'll hear the clump of cells in this video. You're going to hear, oh, it's just a fetus. It's really not a human being. And they want to escape from the personal consequences of having performed an action that yielded another human life. Because that's what it is. We're not talking about what is that life in the womb? What is that life in the womb of a human mother? Is it an eaglet? Is it a ferret? Is it a blue whale? Is it plant life? What is it? It's human life. No matter, you can people try to hold on to their cognitive dissonance. That is, they have these two opposing ideas that they want to hold on to and champion the cause of at the same time. Like, oh, my life matters. The life of a woman matters more than the life of a clump of cells in a womb. Well, what if that clump of cells in about 20 years is going to become a woman? Shouldn't you champion the cause of that person who's going to be a woman, just like you're going to champion the cause of the person who's already a woman? It's crazy, twisted logic, if you even want to put it in the logic category. But check this out.
I just want to read you this poster that I have because I hear a lot of pro-lifers say that life begins at conception. So my poster reads, life begins when you understand living women matter more than potential babies.
So now she wants to put this, and all these people who are applauding this is going to put this on a matter more scale. What human being matters more than other human beings? As a matter of fact, what is the kernel of crime? The kernel of crime, if you really think about it, is the thief believes his life and his belongings matter more than your belongings, to the point where he thinks it's okay for him to steal your stuff. The murderer thinks that his life is better than your life because he's going to go ahead and end your life, while he wouldn't want his life ended. He doesn't want his life interrupted. So this matter more scale, hey, my life matters more than this human being's life or this clump of cells' life. That's the kernel of crime. So my question is, when a person has the mentality of my life matters more than that little clump of cells or that fetus's life, what's going on in the mind of that person? Is this a criminally minded person who wants to end the life of another person because they haven't reached the maturity level of the person that's talking here?
What is it?
What do you mean?
If it's a potential baby, what is inside of a woman?
It's a fetus?
Is it living?
No.
How can it grow if it's not living?
Actually, that's like saying if an acorn is a tree.
When does the fetus become living?
She just said if it's not living, how does it grow? And then she says, well, it's like saying an acorn is a tree. Well, obviously an acorn isn't a tree yet, but the question is the acorn living? Is the clump of cells living? Are you living, ma'am? Are you living? Is this woman right here that you see on the screen, is she living? Yes, she is living. What if somebody else came along and said, you know what, my life is worth more than your life? And they're like, you know what, I can use that to justify ending your life, Miss Redhead. She would not like that, because that would be a violation of the golden rule. Do to others what you would want done to you. Conversely, don't do to others what you wouldn't want done to you. She wouldn't want her life terminated because other lives think that they're more important than hers. So why would she do that to somebody else? This is a clear violation of the golden rule. This is holding cognitive dissonance, and this is twisted, perverted thinking, in my opinion. What do you guys think about it?
That's actually a good question, but that line...
Yeah, of course, because you don't know it. Because it's living. It's living.
How about you let her speak?
You're fundamentally denying science to validate your opinion.
You actively deny science, ma'am.
How am I denying? What science did I deny, Dar?
Sorry to keep cutting in here, but she made a really good point. You're actively denying science to validate your opinion. You're actually actively denying your own humanity to validate your own opinion. Because if somebody had the same opinion she's got about her life not being as valuable as somebody else's life, she would object to it. But she feels like it's okay to pick on the clump of cells of the fetus because that fetus can't lift its own voice in defense of itself. So you got a person here who's willing to attack and end the life of somebody who's the weakest among us.
Okay, so let's look at some posters over here.
But
you don't have to be here.
I need you to tell me what science. You just made an accusation that I denied science. What science did I deny?
That it's a child inside of you. It is a clump of cells when
I'm a clump of cells. What makes me different?
That you were born. You were born.
So you don't. What you're arguing is that anything that is not born is not valuable of life.
I did not say that.
It's subjective. So when does a child or fetus or clump of cells, whatever you want to call it, when does this clump of cells or fetus become living?
When it can sustain its own life.
But when is the sustainability? No, when is sustainability?
21? About like 30 weeks to born, like 24, 30.
Because how do you sustain life? Like my newborns aren't sustainable. You can't just have a newborn and they just live on their own, right?
Right.
They're not sustainable. They need help and assistance to survive. So is a newborn not worthy of life? Is a newborn not worthy of life?
I do have one thing to say to you. How is it that when my mom was in college 30 years ago, she was protesting the exact same thing that me and these wonderful other women and men on this side have been protesting? How is it? Why? Why are we still protesting? Why are we still having to talk about this issue? It is a basic human right to have an abortion, to have...
There's a reason why we're still talking about this issue, because there are people out there who literally believe that their lives are so important that they can make the decision to terminate another life. That's why we're still talking about this. And it's all for the sake of convenience. All of this is for the sake of convenience and selfishness. And hey, I want to go have my fun in this world, and I want to go have a relationship with somebody or a one-night stand. But if something happens as a result of that and I start growing a life inside of me, I want to reserve for myself the right to eliminate that life that I had everything to do with bringing into this world. That's why we're still having this argument.
A choice.
The reason we're still having the question is because some people don't want to accept the natural consequences of heterosexual sex and be inconvenienced by another human life, or want to selfishly choose to end human life in order to have their whims met. That is why you're still arguing that.
That's such a, I mean, this is super important, guys, because this really, what this does is this drills down into the mind of people like this right here. And this right here is the thought process for the people in the Klaus Fourth Industrial Revolution, Great Reset, you'll own nothing and be happy Schwab, because he thinks his life is so important that he's willing to eliminate our lives so that he can be more comfortable, and he can justify that by saying, oh, all these people out here like Yuval Harari, the spokesman for the World Economic Forum, says, oh, they're useless eaters. What are we going to do with all these useless people? That's her argument. Her argument is that that clump of cells, that fetus in the womb, is a useless person, and because that thing is useless, because it's not self-sustainable, we can end that life. Not even thinking about the fact that when a baby comes out of the womb, you don't just lay it there and say, hey, see you later, have a good life. We know that you're going to be able to sustain yourself. Not even a 1-year-old can't do that. A 2-year-old, 3 or 4, 5, a 6-year-old can't even take care of themselves. How are they going to feed themselves? How are they going to generate an income as a 6 or 7-year-old? A 7-year-old, 8-year-old isn't even sustainable. How are they going to take care of themselves? How are they going to feed themselves? How are they going to clothe themselves? How are they going to give themselves shelter? They're dependent on their parents. So if your argument is, well, you can't sustain yourself, therefore you're not worthy of life, well, you better do some thinking about that, because one day as you get older, you won't be able to sustain yourself either, and somebody's going to come along going, hey, you know what? It'd probably be a good idea to get rid of the useless eaters. Guys, leave your thoughts about this. This is a super, super important topic. Probably one of the most important topics, because you're talking about ending human life. Ending a human life that you don't believe should be alive. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know, and don't forget to subscribe to my private email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. And I have 2 backup channels that I appreciate if you took your time right now and go subscribe and hit the bell notification for. It's Grease Monkey videos, and here's the deal, and you'll see videos there, you'll see content there that you won't see anywhere else. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video. With all the crazy stated plans of the Great Reset, the currency reset, and even the food reset, it's not a matter of if the store shelves are going to clear and there's a lack of food. The question is when. You need to get long-term storable food. It doesn't matter if it's from me or you just go to the store and you buy food. Just grab dry, storable food while you can. If you want to get it from me, you're going to support the channel and you're going to help yourself out, because my link has a discount code embedded within it. You can check that out in the description below.